To mask or not to mask? That is the question, but it's not the only one when it comes to protecting ourselves from the China virus. The exchange you just saw from a Northern California Walmart last month, but the great mask debate is happening all over this country, so do anti-maskers have a point that needs to be addressed? Joining us now to discuss the merits of masks is the former Lieutenant Governor of New York and NEWSMAX contributor, Dr. Betsy McCaughy, and the author of Fear Unmasked, Mr. Clay Clark. Clay, we're going to start with you. You say that masks, they're not effective. They actually are worse for you than they actually protect you. Make your case.
On the OSHA website, it clearly states that employers should not create a work environment where employees have less than 19.5% oxygen levels. And what I have found is that many of my employees are now telling me that they're feeling sick and they're getting sick faster. So I called a doctor who's a friend of mine, Dr. Jim Meehan, medical doctor. We did the test and we found out that within 15 seconds of wearing one of the mandated masks, it actually decreases your oxygen level to below 19.5% in less than just 15 seconds. So we're making healthy people sick to protect them from a virus that impacts less than 1% of our population. It makes no sense.
Dr. McCaughy, you chair a committee to reduce infection deaths. Does Mr. Clay have a point here about the efficacy of masks?
He does have a point about the lack of oxygen in some circumstances. But I would say that there are many, many studies now being done in the context of this pandemic that show that mask wearing does reduce exposure to this virus. And obviously, for that reason, is a very good idea. The real problem is that so few people are given valid information about masks. And I'll say, even in this country, the public has really been misled in many ways about masks. The best masks are those N95 or N99 masks that block out, as the name indicates, between 95 and 99% of viral particles, including aerosolized and very small particles. But they're very hard to get.
Okay, Clay, let me just ask you, because, I mean, Dr. McCaughy and others have made this case that surgeons, I mean, you don't want a surgeon operating on you if he's not wearing a mask and is protected. So the research you've done, are you saying that surgeons around this country and medical professionals are placing their lives at risk by wearing masks professionally?
I do not think they're putting their lives at risk by wearing a mask professionally, but I can say that Stanford's Dr. Scott Atlas, MD, who's now advising the White House, has said, and I'm quoting, "The risk of this disease is extremely low. For even children, it's even less than the seasonal flu." So my idea is I don't think ruining our entire economy, mandating masks, shutting down schools makes any sense at all to protect us from a virus that really isn't very dangerous.
Let me distinguish,
Dr.
because
McCaughy,
I agree with many of the points that your other guest is making. I've been against the lockdowns from the beginning. And clearly, the elderly are the most at risk. It's a very small risk for people under 60 who are in good health, and particularly small risk for primary school-age children. So your guest has many good points. But let me point out there's a difference between lockdowns and urging people to wear masks. Now, the kind of mask that you can buy in the store today that works best is a surgical mask with the ear loops. It blocks out about 53 to 56% of viral particles, especially if you keep the gaps very small right here. Many people are being misled into thinking a cloth mask is good enough, or like Mayor de Blasio in New York and Andrew Cuomo wearing those bandanas. Worthless, totally worthless.
Hey guys, look, I'm up against the clock here. Dr. McCaughy and Clay, thank you guys. You know what? We may do a round 2 of the great mask debate. We'll get you guys back on. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. More to come here on the Salcedo Show, folks. Stick with me.